The collapse is inevitable. Our time has come.
那边的金子还有啊，快点，我们进去再买一些了，真是太好了，今天的收获。
In the financial history of humanity, never before have we witnessed such a massive and silent shift of wealth as we are seeing today. If you look at the electronic boards and see gold prices continuously breaking peaks, don't simply think it's just due to inflation or war. Those are only surface-level reasons. Deep underneath, a geopolitical earthquake is taking place, where Eastern powers, led by China and Russia, have executed an all-out campaign to escape the grip of the US dollar. Gold, once a piece of jewelry or a safe haven asset, has now become a nuclear weapon in this currency war. Welcome to Money Mantra, where we do not predict the future based on emotion, we decode it using historical data. This channel is dedicated to entrepreneurs, leaders, and sober investors, those who thirst for the truth and absolutely refuse to be a sacrificial lamb for economic cycles. Here, there will be truths that society does not want you to know, the rise of real gold and the trap of paper gold. To understand why gold prices are skyrocketing, we must understand a concept that big banks on Wall Street always want to hide: paper gold. Imagine this. You walk into a restaurant and buy a steak meal voucher. The restaurant promises that whenever you present the voucher, they will serve real beef. But the problem is, the restaurant only has exactly one steak in the kitchen, while they have printed up to 100 meal vouchers and sold them to 100 different people. They believe that 100 people will never show up to demand a meal at the same time. That is exactly how the Western gold market, with the COMEX in the US and the LBMA in the UK, has operated for many decades. Paper gold is future contracts, ETF certificates, where people trade based on numbers on a computer screen without ever touching real gold bars. The problem lies in the reserve ratio. In the financial world, it is estimated that for every 1 ounce of real gold in the vault, there are dozens or even hundreds of ounces of paper gold circulating in the market. This system operates smoothly as long as everyone still trusts that piece of paper. However, when trust is lost, when people rush to exchange their paper for real gold, that restaurant will go bankrupt, and that is what is starting to happen. The Shanghai Gold Exchange, STE, a direct punch from China. Recognizing the looseness and even the magic tricks of the Western market, China has made a very clever move. They established the SGE, with the core difference being 100% physical trading. In Shanghai, if you buy gold, you must put down real money and you receive real gold bars with clear serial numbers stored in transparent warehouses. China is trying to tell the world, throw away the scrap paper of the West, come here and hold the real value. In this way, China is gradually breaking the US's power to price gold. Cash flow is pouring into Shanghai, where the price of physical gold is frequently higher than the price of paper gold in the West. Part 2. The Gold Blood-Sucking Campaign and the 5,000-Ton Strategy. This is precisely the beginning of a massive migration, a blood-sucking of gold from west to east through the phenomenon of arbitrage. Why are gold vaults in the US and the UK depleting? The answer lies in arbitrage trading. As mentioned, the price of gold in Shanghai is often $50 to $100 higher per ounce than in New York. Smart investors and even central banks have spotted an incredibly lucrative opportunity for easy money. What do? They use USD to buy cheap paper gold contracts in the COMEX in the US or the LBMA in the UK. Instead of settling in cash as usual, they firmly demand settlement in physical gold. After receiving the gold bars from the Western warehouses, they load them into containers and ship them straight to Shanghai to sell at the higher price. This action acts like a high-capacity pump that has sucked gold dry from the underground vaults of the West and poured it all into the East. The US and the UK are falling into a dilemma. If they don't deliver real gold, the exchange's credibility will collapse instantly. But if they do deliver the gold, their reserves will eventually be empty. To stop this wave of withdrawals, Western exchanges have begun to deploy tactics to make things difficult, increasing storage fees, increasing shipping costs, requiring extremely complex paperwork, or even only allowing the withdrawal of a massive minimum, like 100 ounces or more. There is even information suggesting that the US has to lease gold from India to fill empty vaults, creating a shiny appearance to deceive inspectors. But leased gold is still debt. It is merely a bandage temporarily applied to a bleeding wound. Regarding the figure of 5,000 tons of gold and China's de-dollarization strategy, officially announced data on China's gold holdings is always a mystery. Reports say they hold over 2,000 tons, but independent experts believe the actual figure must be over 5,000 tons. Why must China hide its gold? In Chinese military strategy, there is a saying that all is fair in war. Never hesitate to use deception. They don't want to alert the market too early, causing gold prices to spike and making their accumulation expensive. They quietly gather it through state-owned commercial banks and sovereign wealth funds. The ultimate goal is not speculation for profit, but survival and overthrow. Since World War II, the US dollar has been the boss thanks to the Bretton Woods and petrodollar systems. The US has the unique privilege to print money to buy goods from the whole world. But when the US froze $300 billion of Russia's foreign reserves, the world suddenly woke up. USD is not your asset. It is a privilege the US allows you to use. If you don't obey, they flip the switch and your assets vanish. Gold is the only way out because it has undeniable intrinsic value and cannot be frozen by any sanction from Washington. Part 3. The New World Order and the Financial Warning. The Russia-China alliance is building a new world order based on commodities. Russia is the gas station and China is the factory of the world. They are creating a self-sufficient economic system, paying for oil and gas in yuan or rubles instead of US dollars. To make other countries comfortable receiving these currencies, China established a mechanism to exchange them directly for gold in Shanghai. This is Gold Standard 2.0. It creates trust. Take my money. If you don't trust this paper, I have real gold to exchange for you immediately. The BRICS bloc, with a massive share of global GDP, is discussing a common currency backed by a basket of commodities and gold. If successful, demand for the US dollar will plummet. When countries no longer need US dollars and sell off US treasuries, a financial disaster will hit the United States. Why will gold prices continue to rise? In fact, gold isn't increasing in price, it's the currency that is losing value. This is a common misconception. Gold doesn't change in value. What changes is the purchasing power of paper money. When governments print money recklessly to bail out debts, every dollar you hold is being diluted. Gold is the scale that measures the dilution of that soup. The US owes $38 trillion. Interest alone exceeds the defense budget. They have only two choices: default or print more money. They are choosing the latter, causing high inflation while citizens bear the burden through rising prices. Gold is the enemy of public debt. The more debt there is, the lower the trust in currency and the higher the price of gold. Inflation is essentially a way for governments to mobilize capital from the people's pockets without notice. If your interest rate is 6%, but actual inflation is 10%, you are becoming 4% poorer every year. The elite hold gold because it preserves purchasing power. We are entering a long period of high inflation as the world divides and supply chains become more expensive. In that storm, paper money will lose value and gold will be the only lighthouse. As the US versus gold war unfolds, the small currencies of developing countries will be the most vulnerable, creating a death loop. People panic buy gold, causing the local currency to lose even more value. In response, central banks are racing to deploy CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Don't confuse it with Bitcoin. A CBDC is just digital paper money that allows the government to control your transactions more tightly. Advice from Money Mantra: the peaceful world under the shadow of the US dollar is changing very fast. Don't buy gold just because of FOMO. Buy it because you understand it is insurance for the instability of the financial system. Own real physical assets, diversify internationally, and most importantly, get a financial education. The paper money experiment since 1971 is coming to an end. What Russia and China are doing is bringing the world back to basic economic laws. Things that cannot be printed are the things that have value. This is not the end. It is the beginning of a new order where real value will reign.